What's up, guys? Good morning or good afternoon or good evening or wherever the hell you are, whatever the hell you're doing. This is Jonathan with One Big Impact, and I wanted to make a video. I want to start making more like powerlifting videos just because that's currently what I'm doing and I know quite a bit about it. A little backstory on me. My current numbers, they're not super huge, but I have a 400 and, well, in competition, my numbers are 303 for a bench, 600 for the deadlift, and 452 for the squat. My current numbers in the gym, about 5 weeks out from competition. My next competition are 625 for the deadlift, which I think is probably realistically around 635, 650-ish, something right now. I just hit a 500-pound squat a couple weeks ago. And also, my bench is at 335. So, some all-time bests. But I'm also a USAPL certified powerlifting coach, a personal trainer, and a local gym owner. So, and I love fitness, and it's kind of my thing, and I enjoy it. I have currently 13 clients in my little personal training studio and then a bunch of online clients as well. So to give me a little backstory, and I'm not just blowing smoke, all right? And deadlift is going to be the topic of the video today. So the video today is going to be, do I need deadlift grips? If so, what deadlift grips do I need? Are they worth using? Is it a good idea, a bad idea? Does it build a crutch? All about deadlift grips, okay? So grab a monster because I'm not currently trying to drop weight. Take a swig. And let's get started. So, first of all, are they a good idea? Depends. Depends on what you're doing. If you are a couple weeks out from a competition, probably not. If you want to pull some gym PRs without getting tendonitis, or you're prone to tendonitis or anything like that, I would say probably deadlift grips would be a good thing to do, at least in the off season. And I would venture to even go one step further and say probably deadlift grips are good for anything back related that you're doing heavy. It could be heavy rows, it could be dumbbell rows, barbell rows, it could be lat pull downs, just overuse in general. You have to think of it, the back is massive. Like the back is really massive and your little pullers aren't that massive. So compared to trying to build up a big back and using heavy weights, although your back can handle that, a lot of the times the elbow joints and the wrists and the shoulders and stuff like that just get overworked. So that's when grips come into play. So when people say you're using grips, they can talk trash all along. It doesn't really matter. If you're not prepping for a meet or really close to a powerlifting competition, then it's not actually going to be an issue whatsoever. I will say a caveat to that, to sound quite counterproductive to what I just said. If you have a really weak ass grip, like say your deadlift is 300 pounds and you can't hold on to the bar at 135, I would say you need to start doing some grip training, like right away. Stop using grips and start using your grip, okay? Because if you can't hold on to a bar at 135, you're just going to continue to give yourself a crutch. Now, if you have like some kind of nerve damage in your hands or something like that and you're never going to be competing, by all means, feel free to use them all the time. That's not a problem. And then you can build up your back that way. So, when do I use grips? In the off season, quite a bit actually. I really do use them quite a bit. I stopped, I'm about 5 weeks out from a competition right now. The numbers I'm shooting for deadlift is going to be 666. That's my ultimate like lifetime goal right now. I don't know where I'm going to land around that yet because I'm still 5 weeks out. So there's still time to kind of deal with programming and stuff like that and see where I end up. Anything over 600 is a PR in a competition. So we shall see. Now, a few weeks ago, I was using them a little bit more on like my top 2 sets. Recently, I think I did like 505 was it 505? 505 for 5 without grips. I want to say I've recently done like a 550, a 565 or something like that without grips, just to make sure I can do it. But as the competition comes closer, and I will post in the description below, if you have a hard time with grip strength in general, I don't really have a hard time with grip, but I think, knock on wood, everybody's going to get to a point to where it can become an issue and you do have to start training it. I'm going to put in the link in the description below an item that I have, and I'll do an unboxing and a review of it in a couple days. But I do have it coming in from Amazon, and it's a machine specifically for grips. Probably the most expensive one. It's like 200 something bucks. But by far the best one for overloading, and especially if you're getting any kind of inclination of wanting to lift really, really heavy in the future on deadlifts. That can definitely be a big thing. Dan Green uses one. I see a lot of big power lifters using them. And it's a very specialty thing. I think there's only one guy that makes them, and I think he lives in like Kentucky or something. I couldn't find him anywhere else on the internet. So I'm excited about that, and stay tuned for that unboxing. As time goes by and I get closer to the competition, I'll be using my grips less and less. Maybe on my top set, and then 3 weeks out, maybe 1 or 2 reps here and there. I really want to try to use them as least as possible. If you have a torn callus, I would probably use grips if you're not like right up on a competition, because if you try to heal that grip by next week, it probably will not be ready, and then it's probably going to get in the way of what you're trying to do next week. So keep that in mind. Now, the first thing is I'm going to show you the progression, the embarrassing progression of what I used as grips, okay? First of all, these I don't even allow people to wear them in my gym. I used gloves. When I first got out of my shoulder surgery, this was what I used, these actual gloves. And I have a video of me using them for a 405 pull. And that was basically my PR a few years back. I didn't know much about grips. I wasn't really into like big compound lifts or anything like that. I was just trying to get healthy and making sure I lost weight and stuff like that. The idea with these is they will remove calluses, but it's going to inhibit your grip quite a bit. So if you're not in full contact with the bar, and this is in between you and the bar, it does make it more difficult to actually hold onto the bar, and you'd be better off just using your own grip rather than gloves. So those are out the door. But if you do have a torn callus or something like that, and you have a pretty decent grip, and you don't have a pair of like deadlift grips yet, these could work just to get you through a week or so until it heals, so you're not bleeding all over the gym bars, or you're not continuously trying to screw up your grip and just be in the shithole with any kind of lifting. The next grips I got were, let's think here. These are not the actual ones, okay? Everything is going to be linked in the description below. I totally recommend getting a pair pretty much regardless of who you are, especially if you're watching this video, because that means you're looking for it. These guys, I believe this is Steffi Cohen's brand or whatever. I haven't used these. These are actually nice because they have a little pad on the back, which is nice. The idea behind these is you loop them through here. I hate this style, by the way, because the thing is you have to spend too much damn time down there by the bar, and I do not like that at all. So the idea here is you put it around your hand there, and these are actually really comfortable compared to the other ones. You put it around your hand here, you go over to the bar, and then you're spinning this and spinning this and spinning this, and then you tighten it up, put the other one on, same thing. I'm not going to say that I've ever had one fail. My thing is, it's just too much time down by the bar. And even I got really good at using them. It's just, if I have to spend 30 seconds down at the bar, especially being a bigger guy, it's affecting my breathing, my bracing and stuff like that. So this was like the second progression. I didn't have any issues with them other than I just didn't want to take that long setting up. I'm not a grip and rip person or anything, but if you're just getting started out, This could be an easy like $5, $10 thing or whatever, and I'll put some in the link in the description below. A lot of people, a lot of major powerlifters use these and predominantly only use these, and they don't have any problems, and they like these as their go-to. The next ones have a funny story. These ones I used for a few years, I think. I think I pulled my first, yeah, I did pull my first 500-pound deadlift with these, which was, to me, a pretty substantial thing at the time. I was very happy about it, and it was like 8 weeks early, and I was all excited. Basically, what this is a chunk of metal, okay? Chunk of metal with a piece of plastic over it. It doesn't flex, it doesn't do anything. You basically hook it under there and go. The only downside, and I figured out a way around it, but the only downside that I noticed to these was, well, besides the story I'm going to tell you at the end of this, the only downside I noticed was you can't really feel the bar, and that makes me, that tended to make me really uncomfortable. I'll be completely honest too. Do you see the size of this little metal loop? I'll show you in a minute, but that metal loop, it might be the same brand as, yeah, it is. Imagine that. That little metal loop digs in your hand really hard, and I'm sure by now they've remade this, because I'm going to show you a pair of grips in a minute that I currently use, same company, and that loop's not as big. They may have changed it because of that. But that will tend to dig in your hand. Not that that was ever really a big deal, but you do feel it. And I really felt it one specific time. But not being able to feel the bar, you can't really feel it because you're just like a hook, like pulling. You know what I mean? This could be probably used for so many variations of different things, I'm sure, and just in life. Like maybe if you're like on a farm or something like that and you're having to stretch chain link fence, you could hook it in there and pull it like a fence stretcher or something like that. I'm sure you could find a lot of things for this to get your grip out of there. If it was like, you know, any kind of like metal or anything that would cut you or anything like that, you could really use that as a tool in life, I'm sure. But how I remedied that feeling was I left my pinky off and I just made sure I touched the bar with my pinky, and it made me feel secure, and I pull. But funny enough, I had both these on, and last year, no, a couple years ago, I guess it's been about 2 years, and I was doing some pull-ups. I was doing some pull-ups on a really smooth bar, that's why I was using them. So I was doing some pull-ups, going at it, and then I went to jump off the bar, and for some reason, I pulled this one off, and I didn't think, I just thought that it would release, and no big deal, right? It didn't. It got stuck, and I was 10 feet off the ground, and it jerked my whole arm, and that little metal thing shot into the vein in my hand and blew it up like huge. I was freaked out for like 2 hours. It ended up being okay, but I basically hung myself with the damn thing. That day, I literally never wore them again, okay? I literally have never worn them again until just now. I just put them on right now. So I retired those after that point. And I don't normally do pull-ups with them, but I figured, well, shit, if I have that happen right away, I probably could have it happen again, and I didn't want to take the chance. So I'm going to show you one more. Now, I had lost my deadlift grips a couple months back, about 3-4 months ago. There was this guy, I think his name was Mark. He was at the gym. Pretty good lifting guy or whatever. Good looking guy. No, he was a pretty big guy or whatever, and I was like, hey, I couldn't find my deadlift grips, but I really had to deadlift. And I was tired. I missed a session before that because I couldn't find them, and my grip wasn't really substantial where I was trying to lifting. I was trying to hit some 600 or something like that. And I said, hey, do you have any deadlift grips, dude? And he was like, yeah, I do actually. And I'm like, can I borrow them for just 10 minutes? I'll bring them back to him. He's like, dude, I totally ordered brand new ones. Here, you can have these. And I was like, so grateful, everything, blah, blah, blah. These are what they are, okay? So they're basically like the other ones. They do the same thing, but it's just a strip of rubber-ish material, rubber plastic material. So the idea behind these is they're very similar to the ones I'm going to show you next that I actually love. I actually like this part here is very smooth. I don't have any issues. I like how it fits. It's very, I don't know. It's just, it seems like it's a very smart design right here in this section for some reason. But basically you walk up to the bar, you put the bar in between this and there, and then you curl this under. There's the bar in that hole right there, and then you wrap your hand around it and pull. These are great. The only thing is, if you're sweating like a behemoth and this material gets wet, it is just ridiculously slippery, like tile, and it just slips right off. So there's no way, for some reason, it's not absorbent. It's just like there's no porous to it or whatever. So I was like, okay, those work great for that session. Got rid of them after that. These guys are my seasoned professionals right here. These are my go-to, okay? They're the most expensive deadlift grips I've ever bought, but for the 40, 30, 40 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever the hell they are, they're absolutely amazing, and I probably will never, ever, 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 ever buy any other deadlift grip. So these are actually my old ones, and these got me through. You can see they're pretty worn. They're like already the shape of the bar and everything like that. These lasted me, if I had to guess, a year and a half. The only reason that I'm not using them currently is, if you listen, the Velcro started to go bad. Do you hear it? I can go pull 600 with these right now. Even with that Velcro just barely hanging on, they could still do it. And I got to the point where I would wrap my wrist wraps around it, like around my, so I got this huge thing on my hand, but they still work. And these are over a year and a half old. The cool thing about it, I did buy the most expensive ones of this style. It's the suede version, like the brown suede or whatever, because I just figured, like, suede, it has more grip, it's leather, it works really well, it's not plastic, it's not rubber or anything like that, it's more like a cow leather type thing. But the same concept, you put your hand in there, and you'd be surprised, some people don't know how to use these damn things, and it's not a joke. Like, you got to make sure you're reusing the right things, you're using the things right. You see the hook, it's a lot smaller rather than the one I was showing you before. See how much taller that one is? If you could see it, it's like probably almost an inch shorter, so it doesn't dig into you. And there's like a little piece of fluff right there that doesn't bother you or whatever. And same concept, you get this flat right here, put the bar in there, wrap this around, wrap your hand around, and pull. Anytime I use back day, especially on, a lot of the times as a trainer, one of the cues that you're trying to teach people is to pull through your elbows and stuff like that. And many people will squeeze so hard when they're pulling on like a lat pull, or they're pulling, like dumbbell rows, trying to work on the mid back or anything like that. They'll focus so much on their grip they can't actually feel the back muscles or anything like that doing it. So a lot of the times we'll put grips on so they can take their grip out of it and they can focus more on the exercise, and it works really well. So a year and a half I got out of those. I mean, that's what, like half a penny per lift? Like nothing, right? I just bought a new pair. These are my brand new ones, okay? And this is what they look like. This is a brand new pair. Well, I mean, I guess I've had them about 2 months now, so they're kind of worn in. They're not super brand new. But they do have a little pad in there, if you can see that right there, and that stayed good the whole time. I don't see, now I never really compared them, but I don't see any changes from design to design. As in, oh, I guess there's a little bit of change. Let me see here. So, let's get this flat and get this flat. Okay, so it looks like they put the Velcro under instead of over this time, but that's okay. They made it more sleek. It's a little bit nicer looking. Same grip pattern, a little more pad, a little less everything else, which is great. if you can see that. This is the old one, this is the new one. See how that is going under. But other than that, the stitching changed on the inside a little bit. That was the old stitching. This is the new stitching. This makes more sense because then it's more padding throughout your wrist and everything like that. So I like that. I didn't even realize that. That's a pretty good idea. So, by far my favorite grip. If you're prepping for a competition, use them as little as you have to. Here's a little tip to make them last longer. When you put them away, put the Velcro on itself. Don't leave it open where it's getting like stuck on bags and shoes and everything like that, because that's what's gonna make the Velcro go bad. It's just like your grandpa's shoes or whatever that is used in those things. I know that was a long video, but I think I covered everything. Every single one of those is gonna be in the link in the description below, as long as I can find them. Do I think that you should use deadlift grips as part of your arsenal? Yeah, absolutely, because it's not just a deadlift thing. We talk about them all the time as like a deadlift thing or whatever, but realistically, it's anything back involved is what I usually use them with. For sure, heavy rows, for sure, lat pulls. I tend to get tendonitis in my right elbow, or right elbow a lot if I overdo it. And I usually get it from, I can get it from bicep curls, all kinds of stuff. So anything I can avoid it with, you know, the little bit more that I can get out of it, I definitely do. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. If there's something I missed, please feel free to ask. I've bought plenty of deadlift grips. I never even realized that I bought so many, and I've gone through so many processes. But I hope that information helps you. I'd love to see if you guys could link up your recent lifts. If you check out my Instagram, One Big Impact, the same name as my YouTube channel, you can see a lot of my recent lifting, a lot of my clients' recent liftings. There's about 9 of us right now that are going to be doing a powerlifting competition together from my gym. And we're going to be doing that in approximately 5 weeks. So pretty exciting. We got like custom singlets made and stuff like that. We're pretty excited, so we're looking forward to that. But you can check it out. If you send me a link to that, like to your recent deadlift and stuff like that, and in my thing, I'll post it on my at the end of my next powerlifting video, like one of these. So I'd love to see that, and I'll link up your Instagram and stuff. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Happy lifting. Stay drug-free. Well, if you're not drug-free, I don't give a damn, but I'm a drug-free lifter, so I hope you are too. If you're not, that's okay. It's your life. Have a great day, guys. Bye.